Hi guys, it's Leslie Nardini. Hey, I know I'm a couple minutes after the allotted time that I said I'd be on, primarily because I have two dogs and they don't care that I scheduled a Facebook Live right about now. So here I am with 5 ways to stay positive in a negative world. It's a message that we all can use, not just now, but all the time. And this whole idea of this video was born out of a need for myself. I found myself getting really caught up in negative emotions, like really dragged down by it, in fact. And like fear, anger, annoyance, even depression. That was starting to take over for me. And so, I consider myself a very positive, optimistic person. It's one of my strong suits, I think. And so I figure, you know what, if I'm getting caught up in like news and politics and letting that bring me down, that must be happening for a few other people as well. In fact, some of the conversations that I see online with people, there's a lot of that going on. So here I am to do my part to make a difference and bring some light and love into the world. And who is this for, right? Well, this is not for you if you're feeling 100% happy and life is working well for you. Even if that's the case, this is still just that added bit to give you that boost and to keep you on track with that. This is not for you if you're feeling 100% positive and optimistic about the world right now, okay? Who is this for? Well, if you want to have a brighter perspective on the world, if you want to feel positive and optimistic more often than not, if you want more happiness and joy in your life, this is for you. And if you want what I call the 3 C's, the 3 C's are more confidence, more clarity, and more cash. More cash? What do you mean by that? Well, you know what? I think that an abundant life, a happy life, includes all of those things. Confidence is the key to success in anything. And being clear, having clarity and being clear about what you want and where you're going, and all that leads to, and it just sounds good too, confidence, clarity, cash. But that part is just a part of the whole, having a wonderful life, having peace of mind around it. And those are 3 of the things that I teach in my seminars. So before I get into the 5 things, why is this important? Like, why is it so important to get a handle on, hey, Sherry, how are you? Good to see you. Why is it so important to stay positive, to be positive? Well, some of the negative emotions that I've seen, that I was experiencing myself, that I'm seeing in other people, that I'm seeing in conversations online and that kind of thing can be very detrimental to our health. So that's one real good reason why to focus in a positive direction. Stress, anger, frustration, all of those, and fear in particular, those things create emotions and reactions in our body that actually can lead to illness. So more stress on our system creates an environment where we're more susceptible to illness. So that's one reason. It's healthier in general, just physically and mentally, to stay positive. Also, another really good reason to stay positive is because of how it impacts our lives, right? So I'm a strong believer in fact, there's lots of studies showing that what you focus on is what expands in your life. So if you're experiencing a lot of fear, negativity, anger, frustration towards other people, that is what's going to expand in your life. And here's the thing that I've learned too, is those negative emotions, fear, anger, negativity, those things are like weeds in a garden. They actually come in pretty easily. We don't have to work too hard at that. But to have the opposite of that, optimism, positive outlook on life, it requires some work. Just like having a healthy body requires some work, having a healthy mind and healthy mindset requires some work. So these are a few mental exercises, I call it, that can help with that process, okay? Hey, Erica, good to see you. So I'm still figuring out how to work this Facebook Live thing. So here's 5 things that I've been doing regularly for the last few weeks to help me refocus and get my mindset in the right place, and so that I'm feeling happier, I feel less fear, less anger, about what's going on in the world, about what's going on, what I see in the news on both sides, what I'm seeing in politics on both sides. This has been helping me a lot. See, there's 5 things that I recommend if you want to just have a happier, more positive outlook. Number 1 is what's called a news fast. So I recommend, hey, Angel, it's good to see you. So I recommend turning off all news for 30 days. And sometimes when I suggest this to people, they say, oh my gosh, but how am I going to know what's going on? I promise you, hey, Shawana, good to see you on here. I hope to see you next week when I'm in town. So, so turn off the news, turn off all sources of news for 30 days and just see how, hey, Erica, you are awesome too. See what happens. And if you're worried about missing out on something, I promise, you will still hear about the important things. Now, how do you do that though? Because that's the thing I find the hardest is how do you keep away from the news? And even Lola is gurring about it. Turn off the news. So how do you stay away from it? Because it seems like the news is in our face all the time. Well, there are a couple of things that you can do. Obviously, just don't turn on the television. Or what I like to do lately is watch a lot of HGTV. Put that on because it's always happy and uplifting. But you also, what I had to do is on my phone, for instance, turn off notifications because I found, I'd be trying to ignore the news and then something would pop up on my phone and saying, did you hear what happened? And this is what happened. And so you can actually turn off notifications on your phone so that you don't see that if you don't want to. And then even on my computer, I would pull up and go, just open up Explorer or whatever mode you use in terms of going on the internet, and the news stories would pop up there. So you can actually control that as well. You can get all of that out of your face. If you really need to see something, you can go in and do it by choice instead of having that come at you when you don't want it to. And so now my husband, he can be immersed in news. He likes to listen to the news. He likes to keep up on politics, and he can keep his head in that on a regular basis and not be impacted by it. It affects me. It actually makes me upset and angry and fearful, and I don't want to have those emotions as my prominent or dominant emotions. So I've told him, I said, I don't want to hear or see any of that for a while, but if there's something really, really important, you can let me know. And otherwise, that's not where I want to put my head right now. Now, so news fast, try that. Try it for 30 days and see what happens. I promise it will make a difference. And so that's number 1, news fast. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Years back, Tony Robbins taught me something that's had an impact on my life. And he says, stand guard at the door of your mind. So you get to choose what you put into your head. And what you intake mentally has an impact on what goes out. Has an impact on every aspect of our lives. All right, so that's number 1, news fast. Number 2, positive information. Take in positive information by reading. And whether it's a good old-fashioned paper book or on Kindle, whatever it is, but reading good information that feeds your mind in a positive way. One really good book that I recommend, there are thousands of great books out there, but one good book that I picked up recently is called Fearless, because again, I was starting to get caught up in really fearful mindset, fearful about what I see going on in the world and that kind of thing. I thought, you know what? I know enough to know that I can control these emotions. So I picked up the book Fearless. It's fantastic, and it's by an author called Steve Chandler. Steve Chandler puts great information out, great book, Fearless, and it just gives some great ideas on how to be fearless in your approach of life, but also on choosing your thoughts. So that's a fantastic book. And there are thousands of books out there that you can read so that you're taking in good information that makes an impact on how you feel, and it makes an impact on how you see the world. So that's number 2, right? So we have number 1, news fast. Number 2, positive reading. Number 3, journaling. Journaling helps me so much when I want to get my head straight. I get my head on straight. So I journal on a regular basis, and journaling can just be for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be something that you do all the time, but it's a great way to get thoughts out of your head and onto paper. There's studies showing that this is really a powerful tool to use in terms of managing your thoughts and choosing your thoughts. So I highly recommend journaling as a way to get negative thoughts and energy out of your head and help you focus more in a positive direction. Number 4, similar to number 2, but is to watch and or listen to motivational information. So a couple weeks back, when I was feeling really just feeling down and feeling part of, and I will say too, part of my mindset recently has been impacted because of the fact that we moved to a new place. We're living in Madison, Wisconsin now. I love it here. We're having a great time doing it, but I'm homesick and I miss my friends and family. I miss being around my support system. So that also has been adding to my mindset, and I've had to work a lot harder at staying positive. So when I was feeling down a couple weeks ago, I decided I was going to get online and watch some motivational videos. Now, I in particular happen to really like Tony Robbins and the information that he puts out, but pick somebody that you like. Tony Robbins' stuff is really great. Jack Canfield's information is fantastic. There's another speaker who puts out great information. Her name is Mel Robbins, Brene Brown. Lots of really great information online for free. You can go to YouTube and look up motivational videos, and those are 4 in particular that I think, 4 people in particular that I think put out really good information instantaneously that will uplift you. It gives you a different focus, a different mindset. Hey, Sarah, how are you? Yes, I know, right? Missing family and friends. I miss my family and friends. And in fact, this week, though, flying to the West Coast to see everybody. So I'm excited about that. So either watch online. Posey says, yeah, agreed. Watch online and or listen to motivational, inspirational, educational information from whatever source really speaks to you. And that, again, you're feeding your mind positive information. Number five is to have a morning and evening routine. A morning and evening routine. And I have picked up this tip and this routine, I guess, if you will, or habit, by listening to other people and getting this tip from other people, different things that you can do morning and evening. And this is something, it only takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes of your whole entire day that will have a huge impact on how your life goes. So, and if you were to do this, just take it on for the next 30 days. In fact, just try it for a couple days and see what a difference it makes. But take it on and, yes, see, yeah. Okay, that's okay. See, still figuring out what to do with Facebook Live. So anyway, hey, Natalie, good to see you. So a morning and evening routine, I call them AM, PM routine. And in fact, I have a guide that I created myself based on what I've learned from other people. I put together the best of the things that work for me. And here's a guide. It kind of tells you what to do, how to do it, okay? And then I also created a 21-day tracker, because I say 21 days to a better life. If you do, Lola agrees. Hi guys, what are you doing? So 21 days to a better life, because when you do something for 21 days in a row, you start to develop a habit. And then after you've done something every day for 21 days, it's harder to not do it than it is to do it. And just stick it out. And then the tracker, I've created the tracker so that you can check off all the different things on here. So I'll just quickly run through what I have created for a morning, evening routine. In the morning, gratitude just takes about 30 seconds. Affirmations, and develop affirmations. Can I give you some guidelines on how to do that? About 30 seconds for affirmations. 3 power questions, asking yourself some questions, for instance, like whatever it is you want to focus on. What's one thing I can do today to improve my health and fitness? And then you answer, what's that one thing? And we can all do one thing a day, right? So power questions, just takes a few minutes to do that. Journaling, as I said, journaling is fantastic. You start your morning that way. It makes a huge difference on how your whole entire day goes. And journaling can, again, be 5-10 minutes. So we're up to about 12 minutes so far with these few things. And then water, I put water in there as well. I've gotten on the habit of putting a glass of water on my nightstand. So that in the morning, I do that first thing, because water is so important to health and fitness and just how you feel and being properly hydrated. And then another thing is movement. And even just 5 minutes of stretching, a few minutes of yoga, or just anything to get your body moving and get that energy going in the morning. So that whole bit would take maybe 12 to 15 minutes to do all of that in the morning, first thing in the morning, instead of reaching over and grabbing the phone and looking at social media, which is what I was doing myself. See, I speak from experience. So instead of doing that, do these 3 things. And then in the evening, just before you go to bed, no phone. Put that on there. Don't have the phone. I now put my phone in the kitchen. It's not even in my bedroom anymore. And then good reading. We talked about that, but do that right before you go to sleep. Whatever you put into your mind right as you go to sleep, your subconscious works on that as you're sleeping. And then something called a ta-da list. And I learned that about a ta-da list. You know, ta-da, meaning what are some things that went well for you today. And I learned about the ta-da list from a guy by the name of Larry Broughton. And if you've not heard of him, look him up. He has great information as well. He's a fantastic, successful person who he talks about how turning his life around. And one of the things that really helped him is called the ta-da list. And so he would, at the end of each day, focus on 5 things that went well. And sometimes we have to kind of dig deep. Our minds naturally and easily go to all the things that didn't go well and how the day didn't work the way we wanted it to. And by consciously, specifically choosing to look at what went well, that actually focuses your mind in a different direction. And what you think about, what you focus on, is what expands. So if you're constantly focusing on and looking at what's going well in your life, guess what? That expands and your mind starts to look there. And that's really the whole point of this whole video, is choosing your thoughts, choosing your focus. Sometimes if you're not in that habit, it takes a little bit of effort to get there, which is why I created this. So it takes effort to be in shape, mentally, physically, putting that effort in. If you would like to have the 21-day guide, 21 Days to a Better Life, I give this out for free. It's just one of the things I do. I created and give out as my gift to anyone who wants it. So if you want the 21-day guide, happy to send it to you electronically. You can just comment yes, send me a private message, let me know how to get it to you, and I would love to share that with you. So I hope you found this to be valuable. All these things, like I said, it's all based on my own experiences, what's worked for me to help me refocus and get my mind in a better place. And I hope you make today a fantastic day. I would love to hear how the results you have after taking on some of these things. I would love to hear back from you. So have a fantastic day. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, I owe you a phone call, by the way. So love you all and have a fantastic day, and let's stay in touch, okay?